Let's create a new game. Yeah, Whitewater. That's fine. And then the C2 region. Make that shit private. I want a simple city. Yeah, that's fine. Claim that. Alright. Let's load this shit in. Alright, we're in. Let's see. Okay. The first thing, I hate how this says, oh shit, I hate how this says the default road right here. That pisses me off. Okay, first thing we're gonna do is, we're gonna find our wind map. Okay, so I'm gonna have to put industry down here probably. So the first thing to do is I'm going to take this. Okay, first we gotta connect our two highways. So we'll just hold the shift button. So one big thing that a lot of people don't know is, like, on top of this looking really ugly, if you leave that, it's going to be another intersection for your avenue, and that's going to cause traffic problems. So to fix that, we can just go in here, choose a curved road, and we'll see if, there we go. Now, that looks a lot smoother, and it's not an extra intersection, so you're not going to have as many traffic issues there. So, another thing, I also don't like building on this line, because once you zone, this area doesn't have enough to expand to full capacity. So, we're going to put back on straight roads. We're going to start it here. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So now that we know that the wind's gonna blow up here, I'm gonna probably zone residential down here. So go ahead and just what are you talking about? Okay, that was weird. So we'll go ahead and we'll just make a grid thing to start with. Okay, we need power. I'm just gonna start with a wind power for right this second because I won't have enough to build a coal. Alright. So just throw some commercial in here, and then the zone for residential. Okay, bump that up to 3. Oh shit, I need water. Okay, we'll wait for water. You're probably wondering why I zone like this. One big thing is if you zone against your avenue, that's like creating a little intersection for every building that's on your avenue. So that's going to back up traffic a shit ton. Also, why I didn't fill in the whole square is because these squares are only big enough to accommodate full density buildings. One square like this will accommodate probably only 1 or 2 full density buildings by zoning like this. If I zone the whole area, then I get a bunch of tiny little houses, and even if they want to increase in density, they'll never be able to because they just don't have enough room. Yeah, and another thing, I didn't really pay attention to it because I'm just starting out in this city, but you want to try to make sure that you don't have any shortcuts. So like, you want people to use this main avenue as the main avenue, right? So if I just built like a diagonal road across here, then that road would have so much traffic because the Sims are just programmed to take the shortest route possible. So they'll take like this tiny little shitty road right here in this corner instead of using the actual avenue. So that's another thing, you just kind of want to avoid that as much as possible. So now I have enough for a water tower. We're gonna plop it right there. Our Sims will be happy. We could do a town hall. I like to get all my utilities down before my town hall usually, but we can just go ahead and plop this. Now you also want to be using as much space as possible. So you see how there's like faint white lines right there? That's where my modules are probably going to be. So if I just place it as close as possible, so when I place a module right here, I won't have any wasted space. I'll probably have some wasted space right here in this corner, but I can put like a park there or something. We'll name it, I'm lazy with names. We'll just make it, I don't know, chicken. Yeah, we'll do that. So people are still pissed off because they didn't have water. They'll get over it. Another thing I like to do is I like to put the taxes at 12% across everything. They'll bitch, but they won't move out. And if they do move out, it won't be that many people at a time. What that does is if you can form, because the density in this game is formed entirely around the happiness. The happier your Sims are, the more likely they are to increase in density. So if you can get them to a pretty happy state with 12% taxes, and then you get to where you have a lot of income per hour, you can drop the taxes down to like 1% for an entire in-game day, and all of your shit will just instantly like start to increase in density. Another thing that does is it gives you a shit ton of money, so you don't have to really be slowed down as much. So I'm going to take out a bond here, just so that I can plop down my sewage outflow pipe. Yeah, we're going to extend this road a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and just plop that right on the corner probably. Yep. As close as I can. There we go. I see everyone's shit going up this avenue to it. What's the saying? Yeah. See, he's gonna yell at you about the taxes being high. Just don't even worry about that. He doesn't know what you need. So, now that we have a pretty significant amount of money, we can continue to just expand. No, I prefer the grid types just because they're more reliable. That was a shitty road actually. So one thing you really want to pay attention to, while the grid lines are awesome and everything, if I build right here on this line, that's going to leave me enough room for one full density building and one low density building. And we don't really want that, right? Because we just want a nice, neat, tidy city. So to get around that, and it's pretty cheap, these tall tree rows are exactly the length of a full density building. So you can place one there, and you can just try to build a road as close as possible to it. So if we build that there, not only will, hold on, yeah, I was afraid that that was gonna happen. So I'm just gonna bulldoze that road because why not? So by doing this, I can zone right here on the outside of this road, and the full density buildings are going to have their back to the avenue. And on top of that, now every line after that will be equivalently as bad. That was terrible. Ignore that. That didn't happen. So we're just going to go ahead and do this because I assume that they're all going to be just as bad. So we're gonna have a little bit of space down here. That's fine. Oh, we're actually out of money. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and zone. Also, that little green bar up there, that is the space that residential will be on the road that the density is approved for. So because I'm using high density roads, that's showing me how far back a high density like commercial building right now is going to be. Another thing, the reason why you see me kind of doing like this black and white checkerboard style with my commercial buildings, so see, and yeah, we're gonna have a little bit extra room, but that's fine because we can put parks over there. So we'll just own that for right now. Another thing on top of taxes having to do with happiness is, so a sim, much like in the real world, likes to go to work, make money, come back home, you know, go to a store and spend their money, right? So this is where traffic comes in, because if you have, they want to do that all before the day's up. And if you have high traffic, then a lot of times they're not going to be able to do that, so they're going to just be all work and no fun, you know? So by zoning commercial with your residential, then that kind of, I don't know, in a way, it negates traffic as big of a factor. It's still a huge factor, but it's not as big of a problem, because if it's right next to their house, they can just fucking leave their house and walk over there. So we're gonna go ahead and do one spot right here. And then we can just like, I don't know, what kind of parks do we have? Because we just have the extra space right here, we can just plop parks right here. It's not going to be that big of a deal. Oh, I'm actually going to demolish that. So a lot of times, like, high wealth population's cool and all, but a lot of times you don't really want it, because their density, like, one high wealth building doesn't support as many simoleons as like one medium wealth building. They do pay more taxes, but I like seeing a huge number right here way more than right here, personally. So, like, I don't know. I try to keep my 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 cities as medium wealth as possible, and I try to keep away from the high wealth. So we got a nice little city down here. I'll just check this pane right here, population. Just click that button. It's so helpful because right here, so you see how I have 0 unemployed and all these available jobs. So that tells me that I need to zone a little bit more industrial. And then if you're running a tourist town, this will tell you a lot about what kind of shit you should be building. So I'm gonna go ahead and zone a little bit more industrial. That's really good. There it goes. Okay. So we can actually zone right here. Again, just look at that bar. That tells me that I'll have enough room for high density buildings right here. So again, just following this graph. And the reason why I don't have to do that park trick is because by laying out this section, I can follow this graph all the way down. And I'm being careful not to make a shortcut. Like once I get here, I won't be like how I did here, I won't be connecting the streets right here. Because I don't want people to go through my neighborhood as a shortcut. I want them to be taking the avenue all the way. Go ahead and we're gonna zone a little bit more. The ratio for your commercial to residential, you should have twice as much residential than you do commercial at any given time. It's not that big of a deal if you go a little bit over, a little bit under, but that's optimal. I'm just gonna pop that right there because why not? I'll do another one. I'm actually not going to do that. I want to look at this. Yeah. And the guides are very misleading. Sometimes if they stay white when you draw over them, then you're not always like following the guides properly. And the guides will shift just a tiny bit and that'll fuck you over really hard. So you really want to make sure that the guidelines are green when you're placing a road on there. And right now I'm just doing the normal stuff. I'm actually not going to put any commercial in that square. Abandoned building, low land value. Yeah, that's because I made it high on accident. Needs workers. Okay. As far as fire and health and stuff, you don't really have to worry about that till your population gets to about 1,000. As soon as it starts getting to 1,000, then you really have to start planning monetarily for that. That's kind of what I'm saving my bonds for. And we'll probably do the same thing here once I have enough money. All right. I hate it when it does that. I have like 100 less than I need. Alright, we'll just hold this. There's my money. Now, what I did was, on that one, I zoned up here. But if I zone down here, maybe the parks will reach more residents. Because I can still zone over here. Let's see. Alright. How about that? I could even bulldoze this one. I could probably just, after that one decides it's done. Yeah, I'll get more use out of it here. Now you have a little bit of high wealth right there, but that's fine. Like, it's not a huge deal. Now I didn't connect it there. I'm not sure if I'm going to connect it. I want to make sure that this wouldn't be a shortcut for anybody. It doesn't look like it, but I'm probably going to leave it unconnected. And then what I'll probably end up doing is I'll probably just draw a line straight down here. Or I'll use the park trick over here. Yeah, that's probably what I'll do. Let's see. Yeah, okay. I don't have enough money. It's fine. Zoning. Making sure to leave. So another tip too is hold on, let me see if I can show you. So when I go to zone, of course now it's not going to show it. But when I go to zone, I know that this is a little bit more, right? So you see that line? Maybe if I go up here, hold on. Yeah, so you see that little line right there? That means that I'm safe right about here to zone for the sides. I could probably zone, yeah, it's right there. So I'll just mirror it. I'll probably make this side mostly commercial. Looks good. Oops. Okay, so like I said, after about 1,000 population, you're gonna have to start worrying about your healthcare. I'm just gonna go ahead and take out another bond so that I can just plop it right now, because if you go too long without it, your people start getting unhappy and your density won't increase as quickly. Now another thing, you can sit on these normal ones, these smaller ones, a lot longer without having to expand to the more expensive ones by just thinking about where to place them. So I know that if I place them on the avenue, I'm gonna most likely have less traffic, so my ambulances are gonna be able to get around and you know, help people. So I'm gonna place it on the avenue. I also do that with my police station and my fire stations. With schools, I more use them just to increase the land wealth around the houses and businesses around them. So another thing is your treatment capacity has to be the same or exceeding of how many injured and sick people there are every day in your city. So I have 4, so I'm okay with having a 10 capacity clinic right now. Oh, I forgot the dump. Okay. Well, it's a good thing I took out that bond. Just place that there. And just add an incinerator to it. Oh, maybe not. How much is that? 25,000. Okay, we'll come back to that. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna finish off this oh, you're kidding me. Okay. So I'm actually going to de-zone that and then that. I'm gonna bulldoze all these poor people's houses. I have the appropriate room to expand. And then I can even place a park. I'm pretty bland and boring, I use the same ones. So I'm gonna go ahead and just place that there. Yeah, fire department. Okay, we just have to wait for like $700. So again, it's just the same rules as the clinic. You just kind of want to plop it on a busy section, or not a busy section, but a section that's gonna be okay with having a lot of traffic. So I have that there, and I only have 1 fire per day, 1 building per day, so I can get away with having just 1 truck for right now. And where's that fire actually? Oh, there's the rubble from it. Okay. So now that my neighborhood is kind of forming, now what I can do is I usually just look at the population tab if I'm confused as to what I should do next. So we have unemployed workers. So the first thing to look for is, instead of just jumping the gun and, you know, building more houses and stuff, is you just kind of have to look to see if there's any other room that's zoned that people haven't moved into yet, which it doesn't seem like there is, and then just make sure that there's no buildings like expanding or anything, because for whatever reason when buildings are expanding you lose the population from that building until it's finished building. So like I don't have any buildings right now. So that tells me that I'm most likely okay to zone a little bit more residential, but it's a very low number. So if I do zone residential, I can't zone a lot, or if I do zone a lot, I'm gonna have to zone a lot of if I zone a lot of residential, then I have to zone some residential. So this guy's still yellow, so we're just gonna click on it to see. Yeah, see, so it hadn't updated yet, so now I need clearance for 17, which I only have 10. So we're gonna go ahead, first we're gonna throw the sign up there, because why not? Everybody loves signs. Now that's 12,000, so I can't really do anything to help you there until I get that 12,000. So I'm sure the same story's going for the fire department. No? Huh. I don't have any crime as of yet. That's good. My education level. You know what? Fuck the people. I'm not gonna add on to that right now. So another thing too is you want to kind of pre-plan, like, what do you want your city to do, you know? So I haven't decided on this one. I think I'm gonna make it a tourist city, just because who doesn't like a tourist city? Like a tourist gambling city, it's gonna make me a lot of money. So what we can do, that's upsetting. Just start zoning out and just kind of pre-planning. So I'm not really worried about that because that corner isn't going to be a high traffic corner for cars. Now, what you kind of have to plan out is what you're going to do. So, like, for example, I have a tourist city right now. So the thing with tourists is you want to keep as many out of your main city as possible, because if you don't, then they get into your commercial buildings and they start, like, making those buildings hotels instead of, you know, like grocery stores and shit for your actual population to use. So you really want to make sure that you have enough capacity to contain them. So usually what I do is, once I start building casinos, I build casinos right next to all of my mass transit, so that as soon as they get off the bus or the train or wherever, they just walk straight to the closest, you know, attraction that they have. So I'm planning on putting a train station right there, and this will probably just be like the casino U or the casino rectangle, whatever. And I'll probably fill it with like stadiums and shit once I get further in. So that's probably just asking me to get the population up. Yeah, it wants me to get 500 more citizens, or I'm sorry, 5,000 residents. So another thing you can learn from for your density. So it says right here that I have a medium residential demand. I don't really believe this chart too often, because I don't know, it's usually inaccurate. So if you go into building density, you see that these guys are pretty damn close to moving up in density, right? Well, these guys are a little bit newer. They're not really, you know, like this guy. He's upset because his loved ones are dying. People keep dying. They're making a lot of profit, but they're probably pissed because people are dying too. So now I can justify saving money up to upgrade my. Actually, I'll just take out another bond. I can justify using the money on my clinic because I know that it's most likely going to lead to density increases. So we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to plop 2. We're going to have a little bit of a buffer zone so that I won't have to upgrade it as quickly. Hopefully, that's the idea. And then, yeah, we'll just blow my money on an ambulance. Okay. So they're still complaining that taxes are high. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. But there's not really much that I can do. Well, I could lower them, but I don't care about people enough to do that. So I'll probably expand my residential out to here. Yeah. Eventually. I really want to get my train station down and shit first, but it doesn't look like that's gonna be possible. So what I'll do is, I know that I said that this is gonna be the casino section, but I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna zone this for residential, just so that I can start getting that tax money rolling in, because as soon as I start plopping casinos and shit, I'll just bulldoze these people's houses. I don't really care. So, by the information that we learned from the population list earlier, that's kind of a lot of residential to zone. So I'm probably going to have to zone a little bit more industrial. Luckily, a little bit of industrial goes a long way. So I don't really have to worry about it. Yeah, let's get that last square. I don't have to overdo it, is what I'm trying to say. And then I guess I'll zone that. It's not going to grow very well, but I'm not looking for high density over here anyway, so that's fine. So now people are moving in. My budget's starting to get a little bit higher. These people are expanding. So the density's going up. These guys, their density's pretty high. These are great places to shop. Oh no, we have an injury. Great places to shop. And now you see these people who are complaining prior, their happiness is going a little bit higher. So that's the key, really. You just want to get like as much happiness as possible so that you can expand, you know, because everyone wants the skyscrapers. Nobody wants, like, you know, trailer parks or tiny little houses or mobile homes, whatever those are, their entire life of their city. So this is actually going to get me to my 5,000 population too. So I can go ahead and I can upgrade my city hall. I don't have enough to put on my module, so while we wait, we can talk about the options for the first city hall module. Now, for a tourist town, there's arguments to be made for tourism and mass transit. Those are going to be your two main ones that you're going to be picking up. But I like to get mass transit first because you can't really do anything without mass transit. You can do like a shitty shuttle bus station and not really much anything after that. By doing mass transit, you can get your train depot down, which is going to start bringing in a lot of visitors. You can set down the big bus station, like the big bus depot. That's going to go out to your other cities in the region and grab people. I don't have any cities yet, but it's just pre-planning for it. I know I'm going to make other cities, so why not just set up the hub as such? So now that I have the money, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do mass transit. I'm just using that space like I was talking about earlier. I'm going to have a little bit of wasted space right there, that's fine. So now we're going to see, pretty much just have to wait. Yeah, we're just kind of waiting for the money to place down the bus station. I believe it's like 40K, I'm going to say, or the train station, I mean. Yeah, 40K. Now that investment is well worth it. It's going to bring in a shit ton of people, and if you just plop a casino down, like right across the street, that casino is going to be making profit like instantly. Which has always been kind of my problem in the past with gambling cities, is I've made like, I don't know, I've made like the casinos, and I never get anybody to it for a long time. I'm just like wasting money. Just going down the hall. Oh yeah, police. Okay, so I'm gonna actually need police before I drop down a casino, because your crime level spikes so much once you plop down your first casino and every casino afterwards, and I'm planning on having a shit ton of casinos, so we're actually going to save up for the police station, which is 30K. I'm just opening this up to see like my bonds and how close they are to finishing. That first one that I took up is actually almost gone. And now you can see after I upgraded my city hall to the first level, instead of just taxing residential 12%, I'm now taxing commercial and industrial also. So that gave me a big spike in money. So yeah, people are complaining about the high taxes. It's whatever. Like, people are gonna bitch. So you can also see kind of like the density of individual buildings by clicking on them. Like this guy is still fucking pissed. Well, dude, I've plopped down this clinic and it has more than enough capacity for your loved ones. Why are you still bitching? They're just okay. So these guys are doing awesome. They're right by my entrance, so that's expected. Basically, okay, it looks like next hour we're gonna be able to plop down our police department. You see like these little burglar guys, they're running around. This guy's getting robbed. Alright, so I know I'm gonna have most of my casinos in here somewhere. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna place this. I'll just place that right there. Now again, the same rule that applies with the clinic applies with the police station as far as capacity versus demand. So police station by default starts off with 10 jail cells, and I only have 3 criminals per day, so that's more than enough to accommodate. I think that, oh shit, my power. Okay. So I'm actually gonna be moving away from, wind power, and I think that that's a good note to end this on. I think I'm just gonna continue the series just because it's enjoyable for me. If there's anything that one of you guys wants to see that are watching, just leave it in the comments or message me. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna wait for this. Actually, I can just extend this for right now. I know I said that it was just gonna be a placeholder, but